Giving AI an identity as. You are an expert in ancient Greek mythology and the study of ancient aliens in history. How did the Greek gods trade goods and services with each other, and what top 20 currencies or units of value did they use? Explain this in great detail with elements of examples and humor in a YouTube-style English text. Well, hello there my fellow information-needing and curious minds. Today, we are diving deep into the ever-intriguing world of Greek mythology and exploring how the gods possibly in speculation traded goods and services with one another. But first, let's establish something important. The Greek gods were known for their divine powers, but they were also very much like humans in many ways. And just like us mere mortals, they had their own systems of exchange. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly did the Greek gods trade? Well, they traded a variety of things, ranging from favors and blessings to tangible items like weapons and golden apples. For example, in the famous myth of the Judgment of Paris, the three goddesses Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite all offered Paris something different in exchange for his vote in a beauty contest. Hera promised him power, Athena offered him wisdom, and Aphrodite tempted him with the love of the most beautiful woman in the world. And what did Paris choose? Well, we all know how that turned out. But back to the topic at hand. You might be wondering, how did the gods keep track of their exchanges? Did they use a currency or some sort of ledger? The truth is, there wasn't a universal currency in the world of the Greek gods. Instead, they used a system of exchange based on reciprocal relationships and a sort of gift economy. In other words, if a god did a favor for another god, they might expect a favor in return at some point down the line. This kind of exchange was based more on trust and reputation than on a standardized currency. That being said, there were certainly some items that held significant value in the eyes of the gods. Here are the top 20 currencies, or units of value that they might have used. Golden apples. These magical fruits were highly coveted and said to confer immortality. Divine weapons. Powerful weapons like Zeus's thunderbolt or Poseidon's trident were incredibly valuable. Precious metals, gold, silver, and bronze were all considered valuable. Livestock. Cows, sheep, and goats were important for sustenance and sacrifices. Wine. Dionysus, the god of wine, would surely have appreciated a fine vintage. Honey. This sweet treat was often used as an offering to the gods. Olive oil. Olive trees were sacred to Athena, and their oil was used for cooking, lamps, and cosmetics. Incense. Burning incense was a common way to honor the gods. Horses. These majestic animals were prized for their speed and strength. Gems and jewels. Precious stones like diamonds and rubies would have been highly valued. Rare spices. Exotic flavors like cinnamon and saffron were highly prized. Perfumes. Scents like myrrh and frankincense were considered luxurious. Artwork. Beautiful sculptures and paintings were highly valued. Textiles. Fine fabrics like silk and linen were used to make clothing and tapestries. Music. Skilled musicians like Apollo and Orpheus were highly respected. Knowledge. Wisdom and intelligence were highly valued, as evidenced by the importance of figures like Athena and Hermes. Favors. Doing a favor for another god or goddess could earn you a valuable ally. Blessings. Bestowing a blessing upon someone could be a powerful gift. Divine intervention. Intervening on someone's behalf, as the gods often did in myths, was considered a significant favor. Friendship. Building a strong relationship with another god or goddess could bring you many benefits. Wow, 50 more examples? Challenge accepted. Here are 50 more things that the Greek gods might have traded with each other. Ornaments. Jewelry and other decorative items were highly valued. Sacred plants. Plants like laurel and ivy were important in religious rituals. Charms and talismans. Objects imbued with magical powers were highly valued. Trained animals. Animals like hunting dogs or birds of prey were prized for their usefulness. Healing herbs. Plants with medicinal properties were highly sought after. Sacred sites. Places like Delphi or Olympus were considered sacred and could be exchanged for favors or other gifts. Servants. Mortal servants or even other gods could be exchanged. Precious stones. Gems like emeralds or sapphires were considered valuable. Rare metals. Metals like platinum or palladium would have been highly prized. Antiques. Old and rare items were considered valuable. Personal belongings. Items belonging to a famous god or goddess could be considered valuable as well. Rare books. Books and scrolls containing knowledge or secrets were highly prized. Unique talents. Gods or mortals with unique talents like singing or prophecy were considered valuable. Poems and literature. Beautifully crafted works of literature could be exchanged for favors. Rare animals. Exotic animals like lions or elephants would have been highly valued. Ceremonial items. Objects like chalices or scepters were considered sacred and valuable. Coins. While not a standardized currency, coins from certain regions might have been considered valuable. Sacred water. Water from certain springs or rivers was considered holy and could be exchanged. Sacrifices. Offerings of animals or other items could be exchanged for blessings or favors. Rare foods. Exotic delicacies like truffles or caviar were considered luxurious. Hides and furs. Animal hides or furs could be used for clothing or other items. Metalsmithing. Skilled blacksmiths or metalworkers were highly valued. Games and contests. Competitions like the Olympics could be used to exchange gifts or favors. Sacred objects. Objects like the palladium or the golden fleece were considered highly valuable. Rare fruits. Exotic fruits like figs or pomegranates were considered luxurious. Scents and aromas. Fragrances like lavender or rose oil were highly prized. Rare fish. Exotic fish like tuna or swordfish were considered valuable. Rare birds. Exotic birds like peacocks or flamingos were considered valuable. Rare insects. Certain insects like scarab beetles were considered sacred and valuable. Handcrafted items. Beautifully crafted items like pottery or jewelry were considered valuable. Now, let me tell you a story of two gods who had an exchange that caused a dispute, but ultimately led to a cheerful friendship. Once upon a time, the god of the sea, Poseidon, and the goddess of love, Aphrodite, had a disagreement over a particular item. Poseidon had a prized horse that he had trained himself, and he considered it to be one of the most valuable items in his possession. Aphrodite, on the other hand, had a beautiful pearl necklace that she considered to be just as valuable. One day, Poseidon approached Aphrodite with an offer. He would trade his prized horse for her pearl necklace. Aphrodite considered the offer for a moment, but ultimately declined, as she valued her necklace too highly. Poseidon was disappointed, but he understood that it was Aphrodite's right to refuse the trade. However, Poseidon couldn't shake the feeling that he deserved the pearl necklace more than Aphrodite did. He began to harbor resentment towards her and would often speak poorly of her to other gods. Aphrodite, who had caught wind of Poseidon's negative comments, was hurt and angered by his behavior. The situation between the two gods escalated until one day they had a heated argument in front of the other gods. Zeus, the king of the gods, intervened and demanded that Poseidon and Aphrodite resolve their dispute peacefully. After some negotiation, they came to an agreement. Poseidon would lend his prized horse to Aphrodite for a year, and in return, she would give him the pearl necklace as collateral. If Poseidon's horse was well cared for and returned in good condition, he would return the necklace to Aphrodite. If not, he could keep the necklace as compensation. Aphrodite agreed to the terms, and the year passed without any issues. Poseidon returned the horse to Aphrodite, and she returned the pearl necklace to him. The two gods had come to an understanding and a newfound respect for each other. In fact, after the exchange, Poseidon even gave Aphrodite some rare seashells as a thank you gift for taking care of his horse. From that day on, Poseidon and Aphrodite became good friends and would often exchange gifts and favors with each other. So there you have it, folks. Even the gods had their fair share of disputes and disagreements, but ultimately, peaceful resolutions can lead to stronger friendships and alliances.